Hey budgeters and savers, Chris Budgets here with another video for you guys. To all my new subscribers out there and to my new viewers, hello and welcome. If you guys like cash stuffing videos, budget with me, check-ins, sinking funds updates, savings challenges, or anything budget related, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I would love for you guys to follow me along on my debt-free journey and vice versa. So if you're a budgeting channel as well, go ahead and let me know and I'll be more than happy to support you as well. And I just wanted to say thanks for clicking on my video. Now this video is actually a part 2 to my budgeting for beginners video, and this was something that was highly requested. I actually did record this already, and then I ended up watching the video and I was just not content. I just didn't feel comfortable putting that content out there, so I am refilming this video, you guys, and hopefully it's a little bit better. So for my previous video, I'll have the link in the description so you guys can follow along. And I do have a little toy with me today. If you guys don't know what this is, I don't blame you, because it's definitely, I was like, oh, it's a pizza cutter. This is actually for Play-Doh. So you cut your Play-Doh up. So brought to you by my daughter and her 1 million toys. So I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side, and we have a lot of things to go over today. So one of the questions, sorry, I had some questions in my previous video, and then some people that DM'd me as well, so I did want to go over that, is what is a zero-based budget? So there's a lot of different budgeting ways out there. So a zero-based budget is where every single amount of your paycheck is allocated for, whether that goes to gas, to bills, to your sinking funds, to extra debt payment or savings. Every single penny is accounted for. There are other budgeting methods. There's also the 50-30-20 method, where 50% goes to your bills, 30% goes to, you know, your living expenses, and then 20% goes to savings. So there's a ton of different, you know, systems out there. There's a ton of different budgeting systems that people account for. So it all really depends. For me, I get paid bi-weekly, so I budget by paycheck, and I try to do a zero-based budget typically, because it's easier. I don't have to worry where, you know, my money went. I already know where it went because I told it where to go, and then it stayed put. Now sometimes the problem is that the money, I told it to go to the sinking funds, but hey, maybe, you know, something happened and I had to use it, or, you know, I told it to go to groceries, but I had to dip into my grocery envelope, you know, to pay for, you know, the movies or something like that, or a miscellaneous type of transaction. So it really all depends. Now I did have a few other questions that I wanted to answer for you guys. Now I received a DM. It was it took me a little bit by surprise, but someone asked me what my income was. So when I do my cash stuffing videos for my paycheck, that is not my full paycheck. That's not my full income. That's only a portion of my income. When I get paid, I automatically have an amount that goes towards me and my husband's funds, and then I have some other things that are automatically deducted and transferred over. So for example, you know, of course all my insurance comes out of my paycheck, as well as all of our investment accounts and automatic transfers. So my 401k, my Roth IRA, and then of course my daughter's UTMA, all of that is automatically deducted. So, and then of course I have another portion that goes into our savings account. So yes, that's not my full paycheck, you guys. I do not stuff my full paycheck, and I do not share my actual paycheck numbers. And I do that because it's personal, and then also as well, I have other people watching on here that may know me, so I don't want to share too much information as far as, you know, my personal paycheck. But of course that's all based on preference. I've never said that these were, you know, complete numbers, but these are real numbers, and this is what I do stuff in real life. So one of the things that I also wanted to go over that someone had asked was, okay, well, what about your cushion? How do I know how much to leave in my cushion? So if you're a paycheck budgeter like me, and then you have your bills, your cash envelopes, and of course your sinking funds, you may have something left over. So this is exactly the same as the first budgeting for beginners video. So if you do not have a buffer or a cushion yet, I highly suggest that you either side hustle for one, or you use some of your leftover money to start growing a buffer or cushion. Now, it all depends on your lifestyle, how you are, you know, what kind of family you have. If you're a family of 4, then I will definitely suggest that you have a larger buffer. If you're just one person, or maybe you're a 2-person household, then, you know, maybe $100 to $500 would be a great range for you guys to start. We are a family of 3 with 4 dogs, so our buffer is a little higher than that, and that's just to allow for any type of emergencies or anything like that. I don't know if you guys remember my video previously where we had like an emergency. So for that emergency, we had to really just, you guys, we had to definitely dip into some funds for that one. So I definitely suggest, you know, look into your daily expenses. If you're at the grocery store and you went over, will you have a buffer to cover that? How much will you be going over? Are you going to be going over $50, $100, $200? So stuff like that to take into consideration. Every family is different, every household is different, so that's what you have to think about as far as your buffer. And yes, a buffer and an emergency fund, they are 2 separate things. So your cushion / buffer always stays in your checking account, and that's for any automatic transactions. You can also, I've also seen people have their cushion or buffer in one of their cash envelopes. I have seen that before. I don't prefer to do that because then I'm like, you know, oh, I have this extra cash, I'll just use it up type of thing, because I'm that kind of person. Now, if you're more disciplined than that, kudos to you, that's amazing. But you know, I'm not, so I just keep it in my checking account. So if I have maybe a bill that I forgot about and it was, you know, deducted, then I'll have that cushion to play around with. So what an emergency fund is, it's totally separate from all of this. An emergency fund is really, you know, exactly what it means, an emergency fund. Some people have maybe $1,000 in their emergency fund. Some people have $2,000. Some people have $5,000 or $10,000. And an emergency fund is really, it's actually for an emergency, not just, you know, okay, I need to buy, you know, the new Erin Condren planner. It's, okay, my car just got totaled. I don't have a car right now. Insurance didn't cover a rental, so let me go get a cash car, or let me go get a rental for a week. That's what an emergency is for. Those type of situations where you absolutely, you know, need to cover your needs. Housing, food, transportation, stuff like that. So again, everyone has different needs, so keep that in mind. Again, if you don't even have a car, then don't worry about that. You know, maybe 1 to 3 months of rent would be included in your emergency fund. It all really depends on where you are in your life, what stage you are in your life. So someone who is single and right out of college will be different from, let's say, a person who is a parent of 3 kids, you know, and has a home and a mortgage and stuff like that. So again, please consider, you know, what life stage you're in as far as, you know, your emergency fund and your cushion. So those were the things that I wanted to address. And another person asked, you guys had so many questions, I didn't even know what to say. So another person asked about sinking funds and what are sinking funds. So I guess I didn't explain that in my previous video. So what sinking funds are, it's basically like a little savings account for your long-term goals. Or anything that you know you need to pay for in the future that's reoccurring. So for example, a sinking fund would be your car maintenance fund, oil changes, tires, bolts, and I don't know what other car parts are there, you know, stuff like that that needs to be maintained in your vehicle. that can also include, you know, your car insurance for the year or your car insurance for the 6 months. Some people pay their car insurance every month, other people pay every 6 months or for the year. So it all depends. Another good one is going to be your home. That can include your home insurance. If you're a homeowner, definitely have some money in your house maintenance account or your house sinking fund, whatever you want to call it. People call it different things, and that will allot for, you know, in my area we have a lot of flooding, there's thunderstorms, hurricanes, stuff like that. So yes, we are required to have that type of insurance, but also, you know, if something happens, we still have to pay for that deductible. So that's something to think about. So that's, you know, what a sinking fund is. You really want to be saving for those future expenses. So I've seen a lot of people also have sinking funds since they know they're going to go to Disney or go on vacation to Hawaii or the Bahamas or something like that. So that's what you want for your sinking funds. You want to, you know, if you have a event or something in mind for the future, 6 months, 1 year, however long from now, you can divide that amount up. So let's say it's going to cost you $3,000 to go to Disney. That includes, you know, your airfare, hotel, and food. I don't know how much it costs. I'm just making it up. So FYI. So you can take that $3,000 divided by, you know, your 26 paychecks of the year, or, you know, however long, you know, how many paychecks you have until your trip. So that's really what a sinking fund is, and I hope that helps anybody out there. And, you know, please let me know if you have any questions about any of this, because I want to be as thorough as I can, and I also want to help anybody out there who's just starting. I think it's super important because, you know, we talk about these things all the time here in the budgeting community, but for beginners or people that, you know, that may be still in high school or even in college that are just starting out, they really don't understand all of this. You know, the terms are very new, and on their end, you know, I want to be very transparent. And since we went over sinking funds, I want to go ahead and go over cash envelopes as well. Cash envelopes, as you guys, let me see if I can grab my cash envelopes here. Okay, so cash envelopes, let me just fix all my stuff over here. So these are my cash envelopes. So cash envelopes, if you are a cashless budgeter, meaning you use your debit card or your credit card or whatever, this is definitely not for you maybe. But if you are a cash stuffer like me, you guys need to have the cash in your hands, and this really helps with discipline, making sure that I don't go over on our grocery budget for the pay period, going out to eat for food, miscellaneous, and then I also have gas and spending. Where did my spending one go? It's these nails, you guys. So sorry, I don't even know why I still have these on. So for spending, so these are the categories that my family, this specific household, uses on a daily to weekly basis, I would say. So groceries, food, all of that. And this is what I stuff with my paycheck. So when I get paid, I divide, you know, my paycheck up into these categories, and this is what, you know, suits my family. And again, every family is different. So if your family doesn't really like to go out to eat, or you guys, you know, you guys work from home, you guys don't really need gas money like that, or you prefer to leave your gas money in your checking account and use your card instead, whatever you guys want to do. Spending, if you guys are on a very strict budget and you don't have spending, then that's okay too. So these are the cash envelopes, and once they are gone, they are gone. Once the money is gone from this envelope, they're gone. And if you're having a hard time, and if you're having a hard time knowing where your cash from your cash envelopes went, then I highly suggest to track your expenses. Keep those receipts, throw them in your wallet when you get home, and you can really see where your money is going. So there are other, cash envelope categories that you can have. Some people do beauty, they do me time, coffee. I've seen haircuts, fun money, family time is a good one that I've seen before. So there are a ton of categories out there, and again, you can customize these categories to your household needs because again, everyone is different. And I've also seen people do cash envelopes for like their bills that they want to get ahead. So I've seen all kinds of stuff, you guys. And I hope that answers the question about cash envelopes. Now, how do you know how much to stuff in your cash envelopes and sinking funds? So similar to sinking funds, if you have like a specific due date, you kind of want to divide it up. So for example, for groceries, fun money and stuff like that, me personally, I go to the grocery store twice a week. So if I have $200 in my grocery envelope that I got from my paycheck, then I'll divide that up into 2. So groceries right here is $250, so that's $125 a week if you're doing it by, bi-weekly, because I am paid bi-weekly. Now, if you only get paid once a month, you can take your amount of groceries that you spend. So for example, if you're a household of 3 and maybe you spend, let's say $50 to $75 a week on groceries, then you would divide, 75 up by the week. And there's typically 4 weeks in a month. Typically, I'm gonna say typically, you guys, because I know, the months have been janky, okay? So $75 times 4, which is, I don't even know, 75, 150, $300. So it would be $300 for the month on groceries. And that's kind of how you would do that. Now, as far as things like gas, so if you know you're a commuter, you have to commute to work, your car takes up a lot of gas, then you kind of know how much it's going to take for you to get to work and back up until your next paycheck, okay? So we want to make sure we're allocating for, everything up until you get paid. Fun money, now this is something that's like, I wouldn't stuff based on, events and stuff like that, but I would personally, whatever I have left over, maybe I just want to do a little bit, or if I know that, okay, my husband's off, we can go out, we can go do something fun, we can take, our daughter out to the aquarium, to the zoo or something like that. And then another one is haircut. So if you are one of those people that get a haircut every 6 weeks, then you know that you have this expense. If your kids get a haircut every, 2 months, whatever the case may be, then you know how much you need to stuff. So you kind of have to gauge it on, on your budget, on your lifestyle. So just keep that in mind. And I hope that answers the question about, your cash envelopes and how much to stuff. So the only other thing I wanted to go over is someone did ask, what do we do with a 3 paycheck month? So you guys are telling me that you guys got 3 paychecks or are getting 3 paychecks in July. Must be nice. I am not getting 3 paychecks, but when I do have a 3 paycheck month, what I still do and what I will continue to do, because a lot of people think it's a bonus paycheck, which I can see it depends how you have your budget set up. But for me, because I budget by paycheck, so these are my two paychecks right here. So some people, get paid 3 times this month, which I'm still trying to figure out because I don't. So let's say, okay, let's pretend this last paycheck was my 3rd paycheck. So instead of pocketing my money for my 3rd paycheck and just blowing it or whatever, I'm still gonna look 2 weeks ahead and see what bills I have coming before I get paid again. So for instance, using this as my 3rd paycheck, I have my Verizon bill for $192, and then of course we have our mortgage payment. So my 3rd bonus paycheck would be covering this Verizon bill in my part of the mortgage. So that's what I would be doing with that 3rd bonus paycheck. And again, if you guys are a 1 income or 2 income household, it depends on how you guys budget, how you guys allocate the expenses between, whoever's living in your home. So that's something to think about. And that's it, you guys. I hope this has helped a little bit. I hope I clarified, all that I can. And I did want to add, so for example, we did have this $273 left for this fake paycheck here, and someone I was thinking about it because someone asked, well, how do I know how much I'm supposed to pay? It depends, you guys. How aggressive are you guys being with your debt snowball? Are you focusing on your debt snowball? Are you focusing on your sinking funds? Are you focusing on building up that cushion or that buffer or that, you know, your emergency fund first? It depends on, you know, the person. So it's up to you guys. My suggestion here is if you're not sure or you're trying to work on multiple things at one time, is simplify it. You guys pretty much know if your debt snowball, if the interest rates are high, let's get rid of that. If you absolutely have nothing in your buffer or nothing in your emergency fund, or you know in your heart it's absolutely not enough, if you had an emergency today, then I would focus on that. And if you're super indecisive like me, and I do this with my savings challenge money, and you guys have seen this before, I split it up. It's just so much easier. It gives me peace of mind. And if you're into peace of mind and, you know, mental health, that might be a good option for you. So what I would do is I can split this 273 into 2. I would do something, you know, I just split it up however it was. So you can do 100 to your cushion, 100 to a debt snowball, and then you can put 73 into one of these sinking funds. It just really depends. So if I was just beginning and I didn't really have anything in savings, what I would do is I would go ahead and put the $200 into my cushion or emergency savings account, like my emergency fund, and then I would go ahead and take this $73 and put it towards debt. So at least then I'm killing two birds with one stone. With the $273, I don't feel guilty for not, you know, putting money into my emergency fund or cushion, and I can still work on a little bit of the debt snowball, because you guys know with interest, every penny counts and time counts as well. So I hope that makes sense, you guys. Please let me know if I can answer any additional questions. My DMs are always open. I know being in this budgeting space, this finance kind of space, it seems kind of intimidating, kind of embarrassing sometimes while we're sharing, you know, our personal finance stories. But just so you guys know, you're not alone. There are a ton of people out there in the same boat, and I was in that boat too. I'm still in that boat and I'm rowing. I might be captain. I'm not even sure. But you guys are not alone, so please feel free to reach out if you would like to as well, privately on Instagram at Chris Budgets. And that is it, you guys. I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys in my next video.